0, 1. Let's get started.
Why they stopping me?
Bye, crypto bro.
What's going on, crypto world? It's that guy again, Ball Deep Crypto, coming at you with another XLM piece, more in line actually with USDCXM. Did a previous video on this, calling out how potentially it was stronghold SHX. Obviously, shout out to my guy, Low Zion, shorting Babylon. He's been on this like white on rice. But he gave me a today asking about, obviously it's in 4th place overall as an asset rating on Stellar TestNet after XLM, USDC, and MZAR, but 3rd place for overall payments with 40,127 since August 14th. Why isn't anyone researching this more? I'm not a technical person. We'll start off by saying that, and obviously let's get into the beginning of this. This is all speculation, 100%. There is no confirmation. There is no nothing on this. This is just me diving in, like I always do, trying to see what potentially this could lead to, where it could go, what we're looking at. And let's just say right now, none of this is financial advice. Ball Deep Crypto is not a financial advisor. He's a guy talking to a computer about what he's interested in and what he's doing. So if you're trying to buy testnet Stellar stuff, guess what? It doesn't cost anything. It's a test. But on a serious note, not financial advice. All right, Low Zion, you made me look a little bit. So let's just dive a little deeper. Here it is, the USDCXM. That's what we're in reference to. Obviously, as you can see, there's a ton of activity on it. I came over to this site right here, which is down here where it says asset holders on the right, and it shows obviously these 3 ones have the bulk of the allotment of the USDCXM. Now let's see some more. Now, as you can see here, we've got a wallet with a wallet address at the top, account, showing that it has 0 XLM, but when you go down into it, you will find that it does have transactions, and this one for reference was on 9/30/2025 at 1600 UTC. As you can see, IIC7, which we just saw on the previous page. This right here was the code that I referenced. Obviously, hello with complex types. I'm not a freaking coder. Your guy barely turns his computer on. I gotta be who I gotta be. You know, I'm trying to learn as much as I can, but I'm not a coder. So for you coders out there, here's some language for you. I do what I always do. Just try to get a little bit of deeper dive into it and see exactly what it was. So I copied it. Here's what I found. Now, what would it be for? Obviously, developer testing, which we know that's exactly what's being done. This is a test net. So it's for validating complex USDCXM integrations, transferring of tokens in a DApp while handling auth and custom types, like encoding transaction metadata and bytes and stings. DeFi prototyping, obviously building apps for stablecoin yields, cross-chain bridges, or payments. The bytes input, a hash, might represent a transaction ID or Oracle data for USDCXM pricing. The SDK and CLI validation would be Soroban's tools, Stellar Contract Invoke, obviously, generate similar logs during deployment and testing. This could be from funding a test account with USDCXM via faucets, then calling the function. Now, the broader ecosystem, it aligns with Stellar's push for asset-anchored smart contracts. Obviously, Soroban, we've been talking about it nonstop, people. For the few that are watching the videos, shout out to you. Integrating with oracles like DIA on testnet for real-world data feeds. By October of 2025, with Soroban maturing this test scalability for high-volume stablecoin apps. Now, speculating on real-world use cases, obviously, based on the contract logs we discussed, a complex typed inputs like those byte hashes for metadata or IDs cross-contract off via the ED25519 and the static hello response as a placeholder for deeper logic. This screams infrastructure testing for scalable, secure, stablecoin operations. Now, USDCXM's massive testnet supplier, over 2.7 trillion tokens, hard-capped at wallet limits for stress testing, and its surge in payments, 40,000 plus transactions since mid-August 2025, like Lozian said. Shout out to the GOAT. And even reference Lozian. There we go, Lozian. Hell yeah. Point to stimulations of high-volume DeFi or payment flows. Now, Stellar's 2025 roadmap emphasizes Soroban's role in programmable stablecoins, RWAs, and global remittances. So this isn't just toy code. It's preparing for production-grade apps like automated settlements or Oracle-fed pricing. Now, obviously, on my guess, I asked about 3. Stronghold, X Money, and the DTCC. Those are my 3 guesses. Grok says, now in your guesses, I agree with all 3, but with nuances on fit and likelihood. They're all plausible bridges from testnet experiments to real adoption, given Stellar's ecosystem push toward institutional finance. Now, he said his own guess, if I had to pin it to one primary use case, I'd say institutional cross-border payments with embedded compliance is what the code is for, blending elements of all of my picks. Now, the ED25519 auth and custom complex type 1 scream KYC and AML wrappers around stablecoin transactions. Think Stronghold handling fiat rails, X Money scaling retail volume, and the DTCC tokenizing the wholesale side. Stellar's H1 2025 report highlights stablecoin upgrades for exactly this: programmable, audible flows hitting 5,000 TPS by end of year. Obviously, we know the upgrade to Soroban with Protocol 23. Shout out to Soroban. Now, it's not flashy like NFTs, but it's the boring plumbing, which we're always talking about, people, right? The plumbing, the infrastructure. That's what Stellar is. That's what they're doing. Moving in silence, building the rails. We talk about it almost every video. We, the royal we, you know what I'm talking about. That could move trillions. Obviously, ask me, what do I think? I already told you what I thought. But let's go a little bit deeper. And in this wallet address, I found this code. So then, of course, I did the same thing that I just did based off that other code. Now, what does that entail? This log represents the deployment and initialization of a smart contract on Soroban TestNet, likely a fundamental piece for the USDCXM related application. Now, here's some of the key takeaways. Ensures deterministic contract creation, critical for stablecoin systems where contract IDs must be predictable for integrations, e.g. DeFi or payment rails. You've got the admin setup. The ED25519 key with the admin system role suggests a governance or control layer, typical for token contracts, authorizing mints or transfers or wallet management. Now, storage patterns. Persistent storage for admin data and insistent flags. Indicates a modular contract, possibly extensible via plugins for features like compliance or Oracle integration. Errors. Obviously, the error suggests testing edge cases like deploying over an existing contract or handling race conditions common in testnet stress tests. Now, in the USDCXM context, this could be deploying a new token contract, a user wallet factory, or a governance model for USDCXM's massive testnet supply. It's testing secure, scalable contract deployment for high-volume stablecoin ops, aligning with Stellar's 2025 goals of 5K TPS and institutional adoption. Now, ties to my suggested cases, obviously, which I already told you about, Stronghold, X Money, and DTC. And I asked him, I said, give me anything else besides the ones that I mentioned, who you think it might be. And Grok gave me 2 additional cases. We'll get to those. Obviously, for Stronghold, it says the fit is moderate. Stronghold SHUSD stablecoin and SHX trading pairs on Stellar's DEX already use Soroban for secure token operations. This deployment could be a new USD CXM contract or a wallet factory for their payment rails, with the ED25519 admin ensuring only Stronghold's infrastructure can mint or manage tokens. The deployment aligns with their need for reliable, audible contracts for e-commerce payouts. It says the likelihood is plausible but not primary. Stronghold's existing SHUSD infrastructure might not need a new token like USDCXM unless they're experimenting with cross-chain or multi-asset flows. Number 2 is X Money. It says the fit is strong. The creator user account with wallet from your prior query and this deployment log scream X Money rumored wallet onboarding for billions of users. Deploying a wallet factory contract with secure admin controls and persistent storage for user data fits X's vision of instant crypto-native payments. USDCXM could be the testnet stablecoin for simulating mass-scale transfers or tips on the X platform. It says here the likelihood is high. The scale of USDCXM transactions and this contract's focus on secure initialization matches X Money's need for robust, scalable infrastructure. Now the DTCC, it says the fit is very strong. The DTCC's 2025 push for tokenized RWAs, $3 billion plus by the end of year, and security settlements on Stellar relies on Soroban secure contract deployment. This log could represent deploying a government or settlement contract for USDCXM as a tokenized collateral asset. The admin signer and persistent storage for compliance data, the admin count, the signer roles align with the DTCC's need for audible, regulator-friendly smart contracts. Likelihood high. The error suggests testing robustness for enterprise-grade deployment, which DTCC would prioritize for production readiness. Now, the additional use cases that it did not mention, besides my guesses, the other two it talked about was decentralized identity platform. Why? The admin signer setup and persistent storage of ED25519 key mirrors Soroban's DID implementations. The W3C compliant identity contracts. This could deploy a DID contract for USDCXM users where the public key ties to a user's identity and the admin SIM role manages verification. The SALT ensures unique DIDs, and the plugins map could extend to KYC AML oracles, e.g. DIA integration. Now the fit. USDCXM's high transaction volume suggests mass onboarding, where DIDs would enable secure, self-sovereign identities for wallet holders, critical for compliant stablecoin payments. The errors might reflect testing DID revocation or recovery flows. Likelihood, it says here, is moderate to high. It's a natural extension of wallet creation and aligns with Stellar's compliance focus. The second thing that it says it might be is stablecoin governance module. Why? The deployment's focus on admin roles and persistent storage suggests a governance contract for USDCXM itself, managing minting, burning, or fee policies. The WASM hash could be a standard token contract like Soroban Token Spec, and the plugin SimMap hint at modular upgrades, adding pause functionality or compliance hooks. Now the fit with USDCXM with 2.7 trillion plus tokens, it would need robust governance to prevent abuse, unauthorized minting. The ED25519 admin ensures only trusted parties control critical ops and guarantees consistent deployment across testnet resets. It says here for this one, the likelihood is high. This feels like a core piece of USDCXM's infrastructure, especially paired with the prior wallet creation log. Now we're going to get down to the brass tacks. What is the best guess? Now this deployment idempotent log is about setting up secure, scalable infrastructure for USDCXM related apps like a wallet factory, token contract, or governance model. It ties strongly to X Money, deploying wallet factories for mass scale payments with USDCXM as a test stablecoin, the DTCC, deploying audible contracts for tokenized collateral or settlement with admin controls for compliance, or the stablecoin governance. My top pick, if forced to choose, is who Grok is choosing. The admin-focused setup and persistent storage screams a control layer for USDCXM's massive supply, ensuring only authorized parties manage critical operations like minting or upgrades. The error suggests rigorous testing for production-grade stability fitting Stellar's institutional push. Stronghold is less likely here, more focused on existing SHUSD ops, but the did angle is compelling dark horse, especially if paired with wallet creation. There we go. So that is what I got out of it. I don't know if any of that even makes any sense to anybody, what it's going to do, what the potential ties are, but Lozion has been talking about X money. I completely agree with it. I think, personally, I think it potentially is a DTC now, the more that when the code says it, but also the stablecoin governance is a potential, obviously it's a top pick. What do you guys think? I guess put it in the comments. Tell me what you think. Obviously, all of this is a guess. None of it is verifiable in any way, shape, or form, but the code is talking to AI, and AI is reading it and stating in real world use cases, these are the potential opportunities. So if you agree. If you don't, throw in who would they, stablecoin governance, who would that be? Paxios? I don't know who that, I'm assuming Paxios. Who else would be involved in that? I don't know. Again, you guys have more knowledge than me. I appreciate any input or anything that you got, any trails you want. I can obviously maybe try to look into, or you can look into yourself. I mean, I'm not doing rocket science here, So that's really all I got. So I appreciate your time. Time is money, and you chose to spend it here. I appreciate that. I hope each and every one of you have a great day. And like I always say, chase a check, never chase a bitch.
Bye, crypto bro.